Hi everybody, this is Property with Leonard and welcome to another episode. On this channel we discuss property, finance and investments. Now please note that none of my videos constitutes as financial advice. If you are looking for financial advice, please speak to an accredited and registered financial advisor. Now on today's episode I'm going to be discussing and sharing with you how you can save money when building your own brand new home. But before we get to today's episode, can I kindly remind you, if you haven't, to please subscribe to my channel, to like this video, to share it, and leave your comments in the comments section below. It's easy to subscribe. You can just hit that subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. And please remember to hit the all notifications, and that way you will be notified and you won't miss out whenever I upload new videos. So the first thing that I think you need to take into consideration, and this is the one that I deem to be the most important one of the 6 that I'm going to share with you in this video. And that is, make sure that you choose the site very carefully. You know, size should definitely not be the only consideration when choosing a piece of land or a plot to buy where you can build your dream home. Often it is worth it to buy a smaller stand, but one that is already connected to the main water, electricity and waste connections in the area. And it's also a big bonus if there's already connection or accessibility to fiber and internet. And you also need to think about the location of the stand or the plot in relation to your work, to schools, to shops, entertainment, sports facilities and lots of other things. Because often you'll find that a plot on the outskirts of town will be much cheaper than one that is more closer to the CBD, Central Business District, or all the aforementioned amenities. But you have to weigh it up. And the next one that I actually learned this one the hard way, is you have to think about, and you know, I never even thought about this one, but I'm going to give it to you and make sure, and this one's going to save you a lot of money. You know, I never thought, I mean, I've built one of my own homes already as well. I never thought about the accessibility of construction vehicles to the plot. So you have to take that into consideration. Also, very importantly, is there water and electricity while this construction process is on the way? You have to have a professional survey done, obviously depending on the location of the plot, because often there's slopes. You have to think about drainage, you have to think about soil types, and also perhaps there's underlying rocks and under the surface, and these things can add astronomical amounts to the cost of just building your own property. And then another one is the zoning. You have to take that factor also into consideration and make sure that whatever you're going to build on this plot, on this piece of land, on this stand, that it is in line with what the property or the plot is zoned for, because you don't want some nasty surprises along the way. And my best advice in this case is to double check the zoning status of the land and make sure that you familiarize yourself with it. And number 2 is think about the style of home that you want to build. And this can have surprising cost implications. So you need to seek help and advice from a professional builder, a developer, or maybe an architect, just to guide you through this process. For example, you might like the idea of an open plan home, but you have to take this into consideration, because you might think you're saving money with an open plan home, because that will be almost a logical assumption to make. But the beams that will be required to hold up the roof, because there's fewer walls, will be much more, will need to be stronger, and they will be much more expensive. You may also need much more expensive wiring, plumbing, electricity, etc. To heat up an open plan home in winter and cool it down in summer is much more expensive than the alternative. And by contrast, you might also think to build a double-story home that it will be more costly with the same floor area, but it could actually be cheaper to build a double-story home. Just think about it. The double-story home might be more suitable for the smaller stand. That's number 1. And secondly, you need less roofing and a smaller foundation. And those 2 items, the roof and the foundation, anybody will tell you, that takes the lion's share of your budget when you build your own brand new home. Number 3 is understanding building loans. Now a building loan is quite different than an ordinary mortgage. And you need to familiarize yourself with this whole process. Otherwise, you'll get nasty surprises. So before you sign on that dotted line, make sure that you are aware and that you understand that a building loan is not a lump sum. You don't get the full amount of your loan to manage as you please. No, the bank will pay it out almost like in installments. They will send out their assessor, and based on the assessment, they will give you money for the next phase. So obviously here a lot of other factors come into play. If the interest rate goes up or fluctuates, it will have a direct effect. If there's a delay from the contractors or whatever, that will have an effect. What I would advise you is, even before starting, I mean, even if you went through the contract, you understand the whole concept, is to make sure that you have about 10 to 20% of the total amount, almost like a deposit. Use it as an emergency fund, just to bridge to yourself, and to make sure that the process doesn't stop or gets delayed for whatsoever reason. And that's why it is so important for you to shop around. I mean, and shop around for, first of all, the bank will fund you. Make sure that you speak to all the other banks, and to ensure that you get the best deal. Make sure that you shop around for your builders, for the architect, where you buy the materials, all those things. Don't just go into it hoping for the best. Do your homework. Number 4 is always go for quality when you choose a builder. Once again, I also learned this personally the hard way. So I'm going to make it easier for you. I'm going to share this with you. It is extremely important that you spend time selecting a reputable, registered builder with a proven track record. And now, don't just accept everything at face value. Make contact with the previous clients. Make sure that the project was completed on time, or in the time that they agreed upon, and that they were both happy and the quality was up to standard as promised. Many a times, especially on social media, I always see people say, I want this or I want that, but please, somebody who doesn't charge an arm and a leg. Eventually it costs them an arm and a leg. Because people who they always want to do shortcuts, save here and save there, but they also want the best service, the best quality. And those two things doesn't always go together. So my advice to you is, when you interview your builder or speak to your builder, or just assess the builder itself, and I mean, make sure you do two, 3, or maybe even 4 of them. It's okay if they show you site plans of houses that they've built already, but my advice to you and suggestion is really go walk through the houses that they've built. You will get a feel of it, and that will give you a much better idea of the quality and workmanship of this builder. And any builder who is proud of his or her work will be more than happy, would actually want you to meet some of their previous clients. They would want you to walk through their work and show you what they are capable of. And number 5 is stick to the basics and your budget. You know, it's much more important as you're planning and the building comes along to constantly asking yourself, what can I do without? Because, you know, that green feature that is so much more needed, I think it's much more important than having the most expensive carpets installed in the home. Because you can still get away with a decent quality carpets all over that will cost you a little bit less, but then you have the most, or the important green feature that everybody wants these days. And obviously it's not only saving the planet, but also saving you money. You can also forego on that really expensive fittings in the bathroom or in the kitchen, like plain tiles and melamine kitchen doors instead of solid wood. And good quality roofing is much more important than a built-in braai on the patio or a fancy garage door. And it goes without saying. I mean, it's much more expensive to replace a roof, to keep on fixing a roof. And if that is in place, if the roof is of good quality, you can always in future, as your financial situation changes or you can afford it, you can always add on or replace the garage door with that fancier one. And number 6 is plan to DIY where you can. There might be certain areas or things that you or your friends can do to keep costs down. Make sure that you discuss this with the builder before this whole process commences. After you've chosen your builder, sit down with him or her and just discuss with him. Because maybe you've done your homework, you know we can buy some of the stuff at a much cheaper price. Things like fixtures or fittings, maybe bricks or mortar or cement, whatever. But just make sure that you discuss this with your builder, and obviously the architect as well, but the builder more importantly. You might also want to enlist some of your friends to paint the house or do some smaller stuff around the house where you can save a buck or two. But like I said, also discuss it with the builder and make sure that whatever you do doesn't jeopardize the whole process and it doesn't cost eventually more. And sometimes you must, if you don't know what you're doing, rather don't do it, because that will also save you money in the long run. I sincerely hope that these tips that I've shared with you today will be of value to you, it will be of help, and it would be able to save you some money along the line. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you haven't subscribed, then I kindly ask you to please subscribe to my channel, to like this video, to share it, and leave your comments in the comment section below. It's easy to subscribe. You can just hit that subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, and please remember to hit the all notifications, and that way you will be notified and you won't miss out whenever I upload new videos. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.